this company, right? Not only are they good QSs and PMs, we've got talented filmmakers, talented photographers, actors, singers, dancers. There's also some spies around here. How the hell do they know that I like Renee? How do they know the intimate details of me staggering up the stairs? And what's the other? Buying videos. And for the life of me, I've not seen anybody dancing in the office. I must be missing something. Okay, to the serious business. So some thank yous first of all. So thanks Ellie, thanks Peter for the kind words, and thanks to Santi and Bali, Matthias, and all the comments on the video, very touching. I really do want a copy of those videos. They will be something that I will treasure for a long, long time to come. I'd like to reiterate Peter's comments earlier on, just thanking everyone for the hard work that they put into 2015. And thanks to the guys from Bali and Surabaya, I'm alluding I should, for taking the time and the effort to come up to Jakarta for the day, or hopefully for the weekend. And that's the end of the thanks. So, 40 years as a QS. All I've heard for the last month is you're retiring at the age of 60. You must be mad. 40 years as a QS? You're damn right I'm mad. I'm absolutely loopy. So, winding the clock back, how did it all start? 1976. I was a young boy. Slim. Handsome.
I know till now.
20 years old. Hair. Black hair. And I was looking for a job. And I looked in the paper and I saw an advert for a trainee QS in London with a company called Davis, Belfield and Everest. And actually the Davis is the same Davis that we used to be only a few years ago. So I rode off to the job, and actually before I rode off to the job, I thought, what does a QS do? And 40 years later, I'm still asking that same question. But because I was handsome and young, I went to the interview, and I got the job! Yeah. And a great training it was, a real good foundation. You think I'm mean, nasty, these guys in London at Davis, Belfield and Everest, I used to quake in my shoes every time. And that's where I got the bending over the corner. That's what they used to do to me. But I learned, and I hope that over the years, when I'm correcting your work, you don't see it as a criticism, because all of us, when we're working, that's the way we learn. We learn by making mistakes and having somebody explain to us, and you don't do it again, hopefully. So after 7 years with Davis, Belfield and Everest, I met my lovely wife, and we got married. And about a year later we decided to leave UK and go on a trip around the world, which was going to be a year in duration, and then we'd go back to the UK and resume our life in London. But it didn't happen like that. We ended up staying in New Zealand for 10 years, and we had a really happy and enjoyable time for that period. But in 1992, there was a bit of a downturn in the economy in New Zealand, and Asia was booming. And so I went back to London and I spoke to Nick Davis, who was the son of the Davis from Davis, Langdon and Seah, and asked him, is there any jobs in Asia? And he said, oh, actually no. So I went back to New Zealand, and as I got back, there was a letter waiting for me. Opened the letter, and it was an offer of a job. And I thought, Singapore? No. Hong Kong? No. Jakarta? Where's Jakarta? So, in those days there was no internet, so I had to go to Auckland Library, get the atlas out, near Singapore, and wondered what it looked like. So we found a book, Aerial Views of Jakarta, coffee table book. So I opened it up, and there was a picture of Wisma Metropolitan 1 and Wisma Metropolitan 2. And it must have been a very old photograph because everywhere around it was paddy fields, jungle and camel. I thought, I'm going to the jungle. But when I got here, it was a jungle, but a different sort of jungle. There were cars everywhere, and the streets were lined with tall offices, so it was quite a surprise and quite different to what I was imagining that I would come to. So for the first day, we were here from 1992, 93, through to 98, and then the Asian crisis, and we left. I went to Los Angeles for 2 years, Peter went to Hong Kong. After 2 years, we decided to come back, and we started up a new company, Ontech, who some of you in this room actually work for. We merged with Davis Langdon in 2003, and the company has continued to grow since those days. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working on some great projects in Indonesia, projects that you would never ever work on in New Zealand or the UK or Europe. Asia has some of the most amazing projects in the world. And I've also had the privilege of working with you guys. I find you honest, loyal, talented, hardworking, and you're able to take the mickey out of me quite well, so. I've got a great sense of achievement, and that together with Peter and Kelly and all of you in this room, we've grown the company from absolutely nothing in 2000 through to what it is today as part of the Arcadis group. We've got over 200 live projects, 150 staff, and we're still recognised as being the premium consultant in the QS industry. So it's been a difficult decision to leave all this success and all these friends and colleagues that I have and decide to retire. The main reason behind that is that last year was a very difficult one for us. Claire's dad was diagnosed as being terminally ill, and she spent most of 2014 and a large part of 2015 in New Zealand looking after her dad. And after he passed away at the end of 2014, she was there finding her own feet after that long struggle. And as a result of that harrowing experience, we both sat back and questioned our priorities, and spending some time together and doing the things we want to do, as opposed to not seeing one another for 12 hours a day and work, has come to the fore, and we've decided that we both like doing outdoor activities. And we've got quite a long list of things that we want to do. And I'm still relatively fit, although I haven't done skis for a few months now. And we still have our health. So now's the time to do it while we still can. So earlier in the year I discussed with Peter, Helly, Ken Poo and Lu Min Chi about the possibility of retiring. And after a few months thinking about it, and having worked here for 23 years with a 2-year break, so 21 years in all, I finally confirmed that I would leave at the end of this year. So, looking forward to it. We're going to leave on January the 4th, and there's a lot of things that I'm going to miss, and a lot of things that I'm not. I'm not going to miss the pollution, or the traffic, or the floods.
But you're gonna miss me, right?
But I am going to miss Rita. I'm going to miss the buzz of the day-to-day cut and thrust of the construction industry, the amazing consultants, the weird and wonderful clients, and the great team that we have gathered here tonight. It's often said that the biggest culture shock that an expat faces is not arriving in Indonesia, but going back home. And I'm sure this is the case. We're going to miss our maid, Larcy, and Serato, I'm going to miss you terribly. Cleaning the car is just not one of the things I'm looking forward to. So to wrap it up, I'd like to thank all you guys for your loyal support over the years. You're a great team of people and I'm proud of you all. I'd like to thank Gary for picking up where I'm leaving off. I'm sure you're going to have a great time here. They're great people to work with, as you probably already know. And I'd like to thank Peter and Kelly for being by my side throughout the training conference. And finally, I'd like to thank Claire for putting up with all the late nights that I come home, the working weekends, all the bad moods and grumpiness. So thank you one and all. I wish Arcadis every future success. And if you're ever in New Zealand or want to visit New Zealand, please drop us an email and we'd love to show you the sights, which are basically sheep. Sheep. And sheep. So if you are coming, bring a coat, because it's very cold. Thank you very much.
Okay.